So I already have this little area that I've decorated in my plaza floating island, but I really wanted to do a full plaza island build, and I really wanted to keep kind of similar vibes, but I wanted it to be more like town-like. I really wanted to use this mansion because it is so massive, and I feel like I never use this item just because it usually takes up most of the biome that I'm working with. But now that we have these big floating islands, it's the perfect space to use one of these. So I just start with pathing, and I use this big fountain because this is also another item that I really wish that I got to use more, but they're just so massive for our normal biomes. So yeah, I went with this brick pathing. It's just this like red brick. I thought it looked really pretty with the mansion. And I did this thing where I just extended the mansion, and I just act like these little arches are also part of the manor. I really wanted to use Lady's house too because I never use this house also, but I feel like it really matches the vibe. And of course the new greenhouse because it is so gorgeous. And yeah, this whole build's kind of inspired. I wouldn't say inspired, but I'd say I really wanted to keep the same sort of vibe as I did with the last greenhouse build, but I also really wanted to incorporate a kind of like manor vibe. My original like kind of thinking for this build was like someone rich owns this island and they live in this big manor, and they've got little workers that live in their houses that are like kind of on his like land or her land. So yeah, that's kind of the vibes of this. The greenhouse, obviously the gardener lives there. I'm not sure who lives in Lady's house, but someone lives there. And we also add in the bakery house skin again because that was in the last build, and not really sure what that building is. I kind of just decorated like a normal bakery, but yeah. I go in around this little like circle bit, and I just realized it's not even, but you really cannot tell when you're in game. I didn't even notice it until watching this back, but yeah, I just go in with lots of foliage and kind of just fill in the corners. I really wanted to make it look circle, and just putting in a couple little items that I know I'm going to use. I really love the look of these hedges, especially with the fence and then also the seating in front. I think this looks so cute. And yeah, a lot of this build is making a lot of use out of old items that I just forgot about or just haven't been able to use. I don't think that I have done a build yet without using these beautiful pink flower bushes. Yeah, I really need to probably try and do a build without them, but now that we have them, I cannot stop using them. I've been wanting new flowers, new foliage for the longest time, so it's so exciting to get all these new like foliage bushes, and they are so cute too. This little greenhouse, I do end up putting a little fence around and putting a farm in the kind of like backyard or side yard, I guess it is, just over here. And I think this is the perfect sort of like area for like a little garden. I just think it's so cute. I've been doing a lot of gardens where I just do like rows with a gap in between, and I think that looks really cute. To the back here is where I put my fountain area, and I kind of just decorate this like a garden sort of space. I kind of wish that I put it where the big fountain was, but I wouldn't have been able to use the big fountain if I put this one in the middle. So yeah, I used quite a lot of like the nice big Colosseum kind of items, and also these like big floral gazebos, which I think looks so cute. And yeah, I really love the vibes of this little area. One thing that I forgot to put in this area though is seating. That would have been really nice to put in here, but yeah, I continue with the same sort of foliage, but I do add some of the bigger bushes from Mythopia, and yeah, I think those really kind of seal the deal with this area. I think they just work very well. I also added in some different colored trees because I'm using the red trees kind of by the manor, and then I start using these green trees over this side, and then I kind of blend them in the middle. I don't really use these trees at all, so it's quite nice to use them. I use lots of the meadow grass because I'm kind of sick of the beach grass. I used it a little bit too much, so yeah. And this is when I add in those big bushes. Kind of just place them around. They're more like a blocker so I can't see past the area. So yeah. This build, I would say, took me around 3 hours, which is very long for me to do a build, but I feel like recently it's been taking me a very long time to do builds. Mostly I think because I've been building in the floating islands and they are so massive, literally so massive. I feel like a lot of the biomes in the normal biomes in the main valley, there's a lot of wasted space. So I tend to end up putting a lot of like random foliage and like cover up corners, but with this everything's so open, so you really get to decorate every last corner. I in this build did keep the corners kind of empty, but I did put a little bit of foliage, but there's just a lot less wasted space, a lot less. This is when I started working on the bakery, and I start working on it on the left hand side, but I do end up changing this to the right hand side. I'm not really sure why, honestly, because it looks kind of the same, but I did go back and forth with like kind of what design I wanted to go for in this area. I didn't want it to feel too formal, but then I ended up making it feel formal, so yeah, I did kind of cut it out where I decorated this area. This area ends up being kind of like just like an area where there's lots of bushes and stuff to the end of it, and I end up putting the stitch truck with some veggies and some picnic blankets, and I think this area looks really cute when I'm done with it. I also used a lot of the fireflies, which I have been absolutely loving recently. I kind of forgot about them for a while, but they're back in my brain, so I've been using them a lot in different builds. But yeah, this looks so fancy. I actually really like the look of this, so I kind of wish I kept it this way. But yeah, the different versions that I went with for this bakery skin are all very completely different. So if you're gonna recreate this or take any inspiration, then yeah, feel free to change it up to however you want it to look. This kind of gives it that kind of more fancy vibe here with the carpet underneath and the gazebos, and I do really like this too. I like it. It looks cute. See, I use those big bushes as kind of like a filler so you can't really see behind. But yeah, I changed it to over here and I actually don't really know why. I thought it looked really good in the other spot. I'm pulling all of these little tables with all of these like items on. I kept this from the last build because I really didn't want to redecorate tables, but I wanted to do a little stall area over here for some veggies, and I think this area looks so cute. I haven't used these like square stalls in quite some time. Usually I'll go with the bigger ones or the new like desert ones, so yeah, it was quite fun to use these ones again. I think they're just the perfect size, and they're already so decorated, so you really don't have to do much to decorate them even more. That's kind of how it looks when it's finished. I really like it. I think it's really cute. It doesn't fully suit the vibes, but I really like it. I really wish that we had more stall skins though. Like I feel like we have a couple, but they're not that versatile. We don't have any just like normal city core looking ones. They're either very like rustic. Well, all of them are actually really rustic. So yeah, it would be nice to get some stalls that weren't super rustic. Here I start working on like closing off this area, and yeah, I just use a lot of the same foliage, just kind of duplicating them and placing them around. Very quick and easy doing it this way by just placing out all the foliage you know you're going to use and then just duplicating it. I was really wanting to make this area feel like separate from all the other areas just because we have the markets in front, and I didn't want it to be in the same area as the markets even though they're right beside each other. So I just kind of close it off with this arch and these like topiaries. I think this looks quite cute. This is when I went and changed it again because I wasn't completely happy with it, so I changed it and just made it a little bit more asymmetric. I also took away those big red what are they called? No, I was gonna say curtains, mats, carpet, rugs, that's what I meant to say. But yeah, I just switched them to these like planks because I just thought it looks a little bit more natural and kind of matched the vibe a little bit more. I thought the red was a little bit too much. And yeah, I started working on the main area again. I just put 2 of these nice green trees and put some foliage just down, so I had a starting point on what I wanted to do. Sometimes I get really like overwhelmed when I have big open spaces, so I love to just pick and grab lots of different foliage and just kind of place them around randomly because it makes the space already feel more enclosed and done. And then I can go ahead and delete them when I want to put stuff there instead of just working with a blank area. These corners behind here, that I just leave them kind of open. I do put it like a big rock in the corners, which I think looks quite good. But yeah, I didn't decorate behind there because there's not much room, and I also kind of wanted the full effect of the manor with the big arches on the side. I didn't want to have decor to the side of these. In the middle here, I really wanted to go for quite a peaceful area. I wanted everything to feel very open. I did add a couple of like veggie stalls and other little things in the middle here, but I really didn't want to close anything off, so I kept everything quite sparse. This is where I put the little veggies, just in the corner here in front of these bushes. And yeah, my main goal is really just don't block anything off and keep it quite open. This is where I start on my little veggie area, which I think looks so cute when it's done. I just dug some holes and planted some random seeds. Honestly, just the seeds that I had in my inventory. My inventory was already full and I really could not be bothered going back to my house. But yeah, these are the veggies that I planted. I think they look really cute. I love kind of how they're all like mismatched and yeah, all quite different from each other. But yeah, I really like this little area. I also put a little area to the side with the Stitch truck because, you know, it's one of my favorite items in the game actually. I really, really, really love it. But yeah, I just kind of detailed this area with very like rustic items, obviously. Used my favorite picnic blankets. And yeah, just put another little veggie area over here. I just wanted it to feel very like kind of rustic in this sort of area, and yeah, I think it kind of worked out that way in the end. I also put lots of things on the tables, but I did cut that out. And here is the final walkthrough of the build. I really, really love it, and I'm super glad that I have 2 of my floating islands done. 2, or well, I guess 3. No, I guess I'm not finished with my frozen island, but yeah. This is kind of how it looks. I put lots of flowers down too, and I think they're really beautiful. We have the little Stitch truck area with you can't even see the fruit and veggies on the table, but there's fruit and veggies there. Yeah, I think it's so cute. We have the little veggie area too, which is, don't think I'm ever going to go back to placing just like a big box of veggies. I really love when they're in a line like that, and I just love how elegant this main bit looks. Back here we have the little bakery house skin with some tables and chairs and lots of food on the tables. I think that looks really cute. And then through here we have more seating, lots of just different random seating. And yeah, one thing I could have done was decorate inside those other gazebos, but I think they're fine the way they are. This build already took so long, but yeah, this is my little market area, and this is probably my favorite area, even though it's the one bit that doesn't fully match the rest. But I think it's quite cute. Got very heavy like rustic vibes in there. A lady's house, which I always find so hard to decorate and fit into other builds, but I think it looks so good here. And of course, the main manor again. I forgot what it was called for a little second. Here's some overview shots of the build. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this gave you some inspiration, hopefully. If you've done a full floating island build or just any build now that we have rotation, I'd love to see it in the Discord. It's linked in the description of this video. Yeah, send your builds in the Discord. I'd love to see them. I love seeing what other people come up with. So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. Bye bye.